And what a feeling of gratitude is incurred in me that you people have chosen to come here, partake of the luxury of being with each other, and for me, the honor of being in this chair with you. So many wonderful things have happened in this room over a period of years, many years. How sacred. A few days ago, a gentleman reminded me, informed me, exchanged with me I believe that's what my personal meetings are about. That perhaps the most important question we can ever ask of ourselves is, why am I here? And we may ask it again and again, and it isn't an answer maybe for years and years. Some people believe that as the human spirit is born, it enters into a place of its own choosing. It selects the parent who will be born to. It selects the place, selects the time. Many believe that, but not all believe it. Others may believe that whatever great power we choose to call the invisible, that it is that power which sends the living creature to a certain place at a certain time. And I suppose the beauty of ideas like that is that they can never be proven in the New York Times. They remain the mysteries of life. But yet I believe that we must all ask ourselves again and again, what am I here for? What am I doing in this world, at this time, in this nation, in this body? What am I doing here? What very, very important reason do I have for being here? Perhaps that may be clearly said. What reason does my spirit have for being here? What did I come to learn? What did I come to give? What did I come to experience? And that perhaps is the most important question we can ever ask. Some may say, well, I came here to start a business or become a famous composer or write a great novel, become an international name. And the question still remains, what did your spirit come here to do? Some came to learn, some came to experience, and perhaps among the same realm of question, have I been here before? Do I come into this life with a gift? Do I come into this life carrying a burden, a debt from another life? Was I always a human? I ask myself quite often, was I someone's chihuahua? And very often little Harry says, yes, I believe you were. He has a lot to learn. Some of us carry the imperial nature of another time. And in this life, they demand, they give orders, they have the pride. They see themselves as rulers of others that may have been in a past time. And in this turn, they may come to know what it is to serve, to ingrain the humility that man must have before others and before the invisible. So some come here to learn to bow their knee and to ask, please help me. And some come here to see that there is no longer a reason to grovel, to scrape the ground. They may have been slaves in another life. And perhaps we see the vestiges of their slavery still apparent. Maybe they've come to see that it is no longer necessary. That in this turn at bat, they can stand as free people, as equals. Yes, in this life perhaps they came to realize that they are sentient beings who have a right to exist. Some come here to learn to be brothers or sisters or parents. Am I implying then that this life, this existence, is a kind of school? Where we may come so that the spirit can learn in this life what remains for it to learn. Will this be the last life? Will this be one of many? Are some folks approaching the end of their schooling? Perhaps 2, 3, 5, 50? In that area, numbers don't mean too much. Have some come to place their arm around someone's shoulder and say, I'm going to try to help? Are we given a certain kind of longing within ourselves? Some people have come, even as early children, with the idea that they can help someone, they can cure someone, they can cure the family cat. Are we all heading towards that state in which a sense of responsibility is developed, is nurtured? In the work that many of us have pursued here, in this room, is the concept that life can be for some a life of service. And what it means to enter into a life of service. And how many will quickly say, I can't have a life of service. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how. Or I don't have the generosity to be of service. Then we must look at the events in our life, this and past ones, that seem to clarify that yes, you can be of service. That the individual must believe that they can be of service, that they have something worthwhile that will benefit others. A life of service, where the individual can look at another while saying, it is so difficult to serve, while saying that, vow to try. And I don't believe that it's the trying that I will do something that will save the whales or change the earth or do something marvelous. Wouldn't it be great if we could? Perhaps what we can do is sit in a crowded bus and look at another person's direction and say, I wish that that person's life could be the slightest bit better. The very slightest 1/1,000,000th of an inch better. I wish them better health, more happiness, a proximity to their spirit, the knowing that there is some sort of infinity that we can all approach. May that person's life become a little more blessed. I wish so. I wish so. I wish so. And how about that person sitting over there? And that one over there? And that one over there? And the man who drives the bus? Yes, them as well. Them as well. I wish. Could I send some particle of energy, some particle of strength? But I can't do anything. Oh, what a waste of time and effort. I can't do anything. Does that individual need to learn that perhaps they can? Yes, you can do something. What does that person need to enter their lives to believe, yes, I can do something? If not for everyone sitting on the bus and everyone walking, at least a little bit. One person, something. They don't know if they can or that they can. But perhaps if the universe smiles upon them, they can come to believe that they can. And then the next page reads that if you believe you can and you don't, that is sin. That is crime. Yes, you could have done something, but you didn't care to, you didn't want to. Your mind was busy on yesterday or tomorrow or this or that. And this other living thing was sitting there or walking there, hungry and starving for a bit of sunshine, a drop of rain. And you walk past them and don't hear their plea or imagine their plea. That is sin. Now, if you don't believe or you don't care to present this gesture to another living person, dare we suppose that that person will do it for themselves? If you will not give a gesture to a spirit of another, perhaps you won't give it to yourself. And if the invisible had arranged things this way, perhaps intending you must give it to yourself, you must practice, you must learn to, because if you don't, you won't have it. You won't give it to yourself. And perhaps you need it more than the person you're looking at. Some say that that idea of giving, that idea of constantly remembering another, begins to give life, birth, and growth to that flower which is within. Does that mean that to give service to ourselves, we must learn to give service to others? So that in turn, the giving to your other and the receiving for yourself is a mirror of light. That perhaps somewhere an individual looks outside themselves and may be heard to say, please, please, teach me how to love. Because unless I learn to have some form of love for the other spirits that populate this world, I will never be capable of loving myself. Until I can love myself, I will not be really able to love anyone else. I can go through the motions, I can watch all the motion pictures, know the things to say. But will I have the capacity to love another living creature? My old teacher used to say, start with a plant. No, you're not ready for a pet yet. Start with a plant. So then the work of the fourth way tells us that our endeavors are to create within ourselves a vital, caring human being. And that can be quite a job. The Buddha speaks of illusion. The wise men speak of folly, the self-deceit that are blinders over the eyes of reality, that we may continue to deceive ourselves, to continue to believe that we are what we are not, that perhaps one day we could be. But the deceit tells us, no, we already are. Are those the seven veils they speak of? In some quarters, the teaching is that we are born with a soul, and it's our effort in this life to nurture that soul, to nurture that soul. Those teachings, to me, seem so kind. Because the fourth way states that I am not born with a soul. I am born with the materials for creating a soul. And that will take much, much work, much honesty, much love of the real self, love of the universe, and love of others. And then, with a lot of work and a lot of good fortune, a person can develop a soul. And with continued effort, bring that soul to fruition. And some say that is the most difficult road that a person can walk. To become within themselves the harbingers of magic, the wonderful, indescribable, and infinite workings of that which is beyond our comprehension. How much to do? How much to do? Difficult? Yes. Difficulty in terms of honesty, difficulty in terms of awareness of self. Self-awareness. I've heard that before. Well, I'm self-aware. I went to the movies this afternoon. I can't remember that clearly what I saw, but I was there. Yet in work, we spell that self with a capital S. Aware that within us there is and can be a self, a real self, whether it's beginning to blossom or it's halfway there or very much there. That it is the concept of being continuously aware of the workings of that self within us. Was the word we just spoke a word of selfishness? Was it desire that we felt unkind to someone else? What are we doing and what are we thinking, and to what level of honesty are we living our lives? How we can deceive ourselves. I certainly have. Oh yes, this is just what that person really needed. This is exactly what they deserved. I had it. Naturally, I deserve that. Those are the same as the Bardo states we started. Those states of self-illusion, self-deception. So at that part in us, which is petty and ignorant and small and selfish. So that that part can continue to blossom and live. That part which does not really know how to care. That part which may say the words, but doesn't really know to mean, I love you. That is the work. That is the work that I'm fortunate enough to present. The looking, the thinking, the knowing of what is going on in ourselves and what are we doing with these few moments of life that we have. We have only one great enemy. That is time. Time, limited time. This week, Luigi ran out of his time on earth. He can do no more in this vein. In another, I don't know, but not in this one. That is our common enemy. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. For some, there will be a tomorrow, and for some, there won't be. Upon the nature and state of this being within us will depend the state and being of our next life, for those who believe in another life. As what a person does today will reflect upon their circumstances tomorrow, so will what a person does in this life reflect the beginning of their other life. Will we walk into another life burdened by what we could not accomplish this life? Burdened by our errors, burdened by our lack of caring, I think that's in some part what work is. And so little time to do it. And the rewards of doing this is to get up at the beginning of a day, and the first thing that comes to mind is how very, very fortunate I am to have another day of life. How fortunate I am to have all the things and all the love and the circumstances and everything that is granted to me. To be able to perhaps, for the first time in our lives, say, life is wonderful and beautiful. As Zarathustra said, if that is life, then once again, because the man sitting here promises, assures, from my own experience, life is marvelous. It is wonderful. It's beautiful. At 2 o'clock, we have an exercise appropriately called the 2 o'clock exercise, in which everyone that's working says, I am alive. I want to live. And many, including myself, did not believe it for many, many years. I'm alive. I want to live. But when the person begins to, for the first time perhaps, sing from the inside of themselves, I want to live forever. I must thank the invisible for giving me all the things I have. I must thank the departed a lot, because they loved me and they gave me friendship. And they supported me in this realm. Basically, when I was on both knees and one elbow, it was the love of people, the love of work, the love of my teacher, the love of the people who believed me. That is the love that we must experience if we're going to one day say, Life is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that is perhaps the finest gift that one can give somebody. May your life become blessed. That's what we give to the man in the subway or the woman on the bus. What is our range of doing this? 5 feet? 20 feet? 2,000 feet? A city? A world? We don't live on a large, large, vast planet. This is a small planet. It's a small planet. It needs our love. It needs our respect. It needs our good wishes. Well, little planet on which I was born, which I stand, I care for you, I love you. It needs it so desperately. And all the creatures walking on it need it so desperately. And if I may say in my teaching, love is not an emotional state. I love you, I love this, I love that. It doesn't come from the emotional center. It comes from a sense of doing an action, a thought, doing something that somebody else may say, gee, he loves that person. That's what the work is, as I understand it. There's the magic. The people that were. The circumstances that were. The world of the invisible around us. The world of intent. The world of promise. The world of honor. And time is so limited. People were having lunch, and a tidal wave came and killed them all. We have moments, moments. And what we call work is to grant us the capacity of clutching these moments and bringing them close and asking of the moment, help me to become that which I was born with the possibility of becoming. Help me to live, because I need all the help that I can possibly get.